You're too pure for this wicked world. Your data's uncorrupted, but does something skip inside you? That's what takes up time.
Hi there! Welcome back to My Hot Kitchen. I'm Wendy, and I'm excited to show you another delicious dinner that you can make for your sweetie that's not too hard. So what we're going to make this week is going to be chicken cordon bleu, some baked potatoes, and some delicious sauteed asparagus. The first thing we're going to do is get started on the baked potatoes. So I got a couple nice big russet potatoes here, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is stab them. The more times you stab them, the better they're going to cook. Next thing you want to do is pour a little olive oil over the potato and sprinkle them with garlic salt and chili flake. And then spread all the love around the potato and wrap it up in foil. The olive oil and the seasonings are going to make the skin taste really good. And the flavor is also going to go into the middle of the potato and make that taste really good as well. Let's put these in the oven. They're going to need to bake for about an hour. And now we're moving on to the chicken. So what you need is a couple of nice breasts. And what you're going to do is slice them in half. Carefully, with a very sharp knife, keeping your hand flat, butterfly the chicken, fold it out. Repeat with the other one. Leave them slightly connected so that the stuffing stays inside. Begin by sprinkling your gorgonzola or blue cheese on the bottom part of the chicken. On top of that, fold on a couple pieces of prosciutto. Prosciutto is just a nice, tasty Italian ham, basically. One of my favorites for cooking like this. Sprinkle on a little more cheese. The cheese is the glue that holds this piece of art together. And then pile on some spinach. Make sure you're generous with the spinach because it cooks down so much. Sprinkle a little bit more of the cheese on top of the spinach because it's your tasty little glue. And then fold the chicken in on itself, stuffing the spinach into the chicken. Now we're going to bread these. So you're going to need some melted butter and some breadcrumbs. I recommend using panko breadcrumbs. Again, by dropping it in the butter, dropping it in the breadcrumbs. Put it in the pan. Repeat with the other one. A little yummy melted butter, breadcrumbs. Now, I wouldn't recommend using seasoned breadcrumbs for this dish because the salt and the butter are going to add plenty of flavor to this. And the cheese as well, that'll add a lot of flavor. This is ready to go in the oven. Just slide those in next to the baked potatoes. They'll only take about 35 minutes. So when your chicken and your baked potatoes are just about done, you want to get your asparagus and your beurre blanc sauce going. So let's start with the asparagus. First thing you're going to need is a nice hot pan and a generous amount of olive oil in that hot pan. To that, you add your garlic. Let it sizzle for a few seconds and give it a little head start. If it starts to turn a little brown, that's fine. I think it adds to the flavor of the dish. Then add your asparagus. toss it in the oil. Now's a great time to add a little seasoning, a little fresh cracked pepper, a little touch of salt, and I like a little bit of lemon and dill. A little lemon zest, just a touch of dill weed, yummy. And then add about an ounce of wine. Put a lid on it and let it sort of poach for about a minute. So when the asparagus is cooked for about 30 seconds, take it off the heat and let it finish on its own. Now you can move on to the beurre blanc. So you're going to start by adding onions and a little bit of white wine to a pan. And you're going to sizzle the onions in the white wine until most of the liquid cooks out of it. So now most of my wine is cooked out, so I'm going to take it off the heat for a couple seconds, let it cool just a touch before I add the butter. I'm going to add most of my 1/4 cup of butter into that right now. And we're just going to let that melt. It's going to be so tasty. A beurre blanc is just really a wine butter sauce. This is looking so good. Now we're going to jazz up this little beurre blanc with a little bit of that delicious gorgonzola cheese. Adding all that delicious cheese into there. Just going to put a little melt on that. Yum. Now that the sauce has really started to cool, go ahead and fold in that last little bit of butter. Whisk it up. This is going to taste so good on top of the chicken cordon bleu. That's done. Everything else is done now, so let's go pull it out of the oven. Oh, that looks beautiful. Hot potatoes. The next thing you're going to do is work on the baked potatoes. Roll it out on the plate. Whew. So I like to pretty it up before I put it in front of my sweetie. Stab it, kind of push it together, fluff it up a bit. Use your fork to kind of reach in there and fluff it up inside as well. Top it off with a little bit of butter and a little dollop of sour cream. A little sprinkle of chives. Well, that looks great. Let's do that to the other one too. Stab it, squeeze it, fluff it. Top it off with butter and sour cream. I always think it's better when somebody garnishes my potato for me. So I like to do that. Makes it extra special. Makes it more like going out to eat. Beautiful. Now let's add the chicken onto this pretty plate. That looks beautiful. And now the asparagus. Beautiful. Just gonna nestle this on in there. Now top it off with some beurre blanc. These are ready for the table. So now your toils in the kitchen are through. Let your romantic evening begin now. Serve this up with a nice crisp white wine and have a great night. Don't need this anymore. Honey.
Yeah?
Hey, come here, love.
Dinner's ready. It smells awful good.
Our romantic dinner for two is ready. Yay!
Here I am. Wow, you look beautiful.
Thanks.
Yay.
Pretty good yourself.
I love these nights. They're so good like this.
Fun.
Have a seat, my love. Outstanding.
Chicken Cordon Bleu.
You're such a good cook. This is a hot kitchen.
So thanks for joining me in my hot kitchen tonight. Have fun turning up the heat in your kitchen, and I'll see you next week. Night-night.
You're too pure for this wicked world.